Hey guys, and welcome to part 3 of the 8-part series that we're working on, where I'll take you from just opening up Unreal to finishing your first game. So just remember that if you like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and to just stay tuned. So we just recently hit 100 subscribers, which is a big milestone. So, if you want to, just comment down below on what we should do to celebrate that. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So, you might have already seen the title by now, but what game should you make? So this is just like what type of game should you make, and words like that. So I recommend that you don't go too big. So here in the next slide, I have a little analogy that I heard it from someone, I just can't remember who exactly, but you want to start small and simple. So especially when you're first opening up Unreal, and as you build up your skills, then slowly work up bigger and bigger to more graphics capability, ray tracing, whatever you decide to go into. But so this analogy, it talks about hills and boulder. So when you're pushing a boulder, if you're pushing up a small hill, it's still going to be hard and rough to push it up, but it is possible. And take that as a small game. A small game, small hill, big game. Like photorealistic, like GTA, whatever, 5 or whatever it is. Like just the big games. So you have your small and your big. So the small hill, it is possible. Here, let me see if my mouse is still alive. It's possible to push it up and over. But here on the big one, you're going to get it about halfway. And then you're going to be losing motivation. You're like, it's just taking too long. There's so much code that goes into it. And then you're going to lose motivation and you're not going to be able to finish it. I mean, if you really have the motivation, I guess you could finish it, but it's going to take a lot of time, and you don't just have infinite time to finish a game. And especially once you finish it, you never know what might happen. No one may buy it. I don't know. Like, it all depends where you release it, and the more time you put in it, like, the more it's not worth it once you reach the end too. Like, once you reach the end, you may be like, oh, I finished this, but if you release it, it may not be worth all the time that you put in for the money you make off of it. I don't know. But so start small and simple, and then you can slowly build this hill, slowly bigger and bigger, and then once you eventually, when you're older, have a team of people that you get, and then you can slowly build big game or whatever. So this is like the mistake all beginner people make. I was like, I like survival games, so I'm gonna build this like super detailed survival game. So I went into Unreal, and I got a friend on it, and we were like gonna do it, but he didn't know anything, and I didn't know anything. So I did tutorials, like tons of tutorials on how to make pick upable items and stuff like that. And he was learning 3D modeling. So and he started 3D modeling like spears and stuff, and I started modeling the world, and it was gonna be like this island survival game. It was gonna be awesome. And then we reached our first roadblock. Well, he just didn't have the time to put into 3D modeling stuff. But on my part, it just got so tedious and long to put in all the foliage and the paths and then eventually cinematics and crafting and all the inventory system. Like, it just took a long time, and it just piled up code and stuff, and it just took too long to render too. Like, it just ended up like computer power was a problem too. So yeah, moral of the story, don't start too big, and just start with something small. So now let's go into this. There's a lot of now I challenge you to pick a topic. So there's a lot of topics you can choose from. There is 2D, 3D, pixelated, photorealistic, like there's those things that are like the basics. But this part is one part you're gonna have to deal with, and I don't know what you guys like dreamed of when you first got into game development. Like I've always liked survival games, but survival games can get hard and complicated fast. But something that you may like is 2D platformer. I don't know. Top-down city builder. Like it could be anything. But so just figure out what you want. The basics that I can help you with is pixelated versus photorealistic and 2D versus 3D. 3D and photorealistic are going to be hard. 2D and photorealistic don't really go together. But I guess you could, no, yeah, so 2D and pixelated go together and 3D and photorealistic go together. So just pick from those two, basically. If you want a pixelated thing, then you kind of have to do a 2D thing. If you want a 3D thing, then photorealistic. I mean, pixelated can go with 3D. It can just be harder, like, I guess, yeah. So, and after you figure out your topic and what type of game you want, make a plan. Once you figure out what you want, there's like a plan, like would be like where you take what will happen after the play button is pressed. What levels are you gonna have? How many levels are you gonna have? If you have a story, then what's the storyline gonna be? What's gonna happen? Like say Halo is a story, like what's the rising action to the events? I'm sure you've taken English class. Rising action to, well, you have the rising action to the climax to the falling action. So you have this rising action to the big fight or whatever your story is. And then another thing I encourage you to plan out is how many characters, what characters are you going to have? And then if you have characters that need voices, then figure out what people you're going to have to voice those characters or whatever, audio for footsteps, whatever. Like, to all this stuff. Like, you need the audio, you need the voices, just kind of plan out what you're going to do first. It's just like doing a movie. Like, you have to plan out what it's going to be, otherwise you're going to start going, and you're going to run into these roadblocks in the story because you didn't plan it out completely. So yeah, that's really just about it. So I encourage you guys to make a plan and to figure out your topics for your games or your just game design in general before the next video comes out. So yeah, sorry I haven't posted in a while. It's been a busy week. Well, weeks. It's been a busy couple weeks. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe and comment down below what we should do to celebrate 100 subs. So yeah, that's about it. See ya. Bye.